Welcome, everyone, and happy Friday. Thanks for coming to our bi-weekly Eastside Wrap meeting, where we discuss the impact of homelessness on the East Side. My name is Landon. I'm the Associate Director with SB Act, and we're joined by Barbara Anderson, the City of Santa Barbara. We're working together to facilitate this wrap as a part of a broader South County initiative to address homelessness throughout the region. We are going to start with just a couple of quick announcements before we get to questions and concerns from the community. Number one is that today at 3 p.m. will be our next neighborhood walk. We'll be in downtown for this month's focus. So we'll meet at City Hall at 3 o'clock and then walk northward on State Street, like towards Carrillo. So we encourage you to join us if you can. We'll be handing out information cards to businesses about different resources related to homelessness and also just engaging people experiencing homelessness in that neighborhood. Our next Eastside Wrap meeting will be on September 6th, if you can believe that we're already there. Pumpkin spice lattes came out yesterday, so that's where we're at right now. And then I also want to share our next South County Collaborative all-call meeting will be on Monday, September 9th. I'm going to put a registration link in the chat window. This will be on Zoom, and this is just our broader community meeting to hear about all the different initiatives throughout South County to try to address homelessness and just updates about what's being done. So we encourage you all to join us as you're able. Tell your friends. This is open for the whole community, so we want people to be aware and be able to share their questions and concerns as well. I think with that, we'll go ahead and open it up for, or actually, no, I meant to go to Barbara, if I can put you on the spotlight. There was a presentation this week about encampment responses at City Hall with a really nice, I think, document that outlines a lot of how our city responds to encampments. So I just wanted to give you a second if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were responding to a Santa Barbara County Civil Grand Jury report on homeless encampments in Santa Barbara County, but we used that opportunity to share more detail about our encampment response protocol across the city. And then that document is also available on the Sustainability and Resilience Department's Clean SB website on encampment abatement and response. We also shared that we, as a city, are shifting our encampment noticing from 72 hours to 24 hours to be consistent citywide. So creeks and waterways were already 24-hour noticing. We also have and continue to have mechanisms for shorter noticing depending on the severity of impacts that we're experiencing in the region that the encampment is located, and of course, public health and safety and impacts of the environment, really being the highest level of criteria there. So we actually began that noticing in the Cacique neighborhood 2 weeks ago. And actually, I received a report from the Sustainability and Resilience Code Enforcement team that only 2 encampments were noticed during that time. And most of the work that's been happening there is addressing the storage of personal belongings in public spaces. So we have an ordinance that has separate noticing as it relates to attended and unattended personal belongings in the public right of way. So that team has been really diligent about making sure that we're addressing violations of that ordinance and then also continuing their litter removal, power washing, and the law enforcement efforts that are happening in that region that we can share a little bit later on. So that's where we are. And again, our approach is still compassion first. We will continue to offer and engage with folks. We have a variety of services available depending on what they're open to. And with the Faro Center expanded hours from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday, we have a place for folks to go, for a variety of basic needs services, as well as to get them connected to case management and housing navigation services. So Liz, thoughts, anything to add to that from Tuesday or beyond?
No, I just posted the link to the sustainability and resilience page on the chat. So if people are curious, you can look at it. I think it definitely it's a compilation of existing policies that we put into a single document so that we can ensure that it's consistent across the board by all city departments. So there's nothing really new in terms of action other than the 24-hour change, but everything else remains the same because it has always been our standard practice. So yeah, so it's on that link if anybody wants to check it out.
And Landon, I also want to share, we are still scheduled for a very comprehensive update on all homelessness related strategies and initiatives to mayor and council. Right now it's scheduled for September 24th. So during our next wrap, we should have that date even more confirmed, and we can share those details as we get a little bit closer.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the reminder there. All right. Any questions for Barbara and Liz? Great. So we will go to hearing from community members. And I also just want to share the link for SB Connect in the chat, just as a reminder to everybody, because this is a good chance to bring up issues and concerns because you have us here live. But it's also really helpful for us to get those data points logged, and to get photos and to know sort of what times of day things are happening. So we just want to keep encouraging everyone, download the app on your phone, use the web browser, whatever's convenient for you. So let's open it up for questions or concerns from the community.
Okay, well, I think I might be the only one on it today. First of all, this is a great time to acknowledge everybody and the good work that you do. The last 2 weeks, Cacique has looked really good. And I appreciate that so much. It's one less thing that I have to worry about or get distracted on so that I can do some good HR work instead of other reporting and, trying to address issues that employees are bringing forth that are occurring on Cacique. Couple of things, wanted to see if somebody could give me an update on the gentleman that I talked about 2 weeks ago, the gentleman that was going to City College that was living on the street. And then two, we did have a lady walk onto our property last Friday, got all the way towards the shop around 6-ish or so. She had a piano and like a shopping cart, and she looked like the lady that was showcased on the new hotel that opened in Goleta. But interestingly enough, she came to tell me that she was trying to cash a check, and I said, well, you can't do that here, and I need you to leave. And she's like, well, I'm an owner. Well, I don't think you're an owner here. And she's like, but they took my check. So it's, obviously I don't think she was mentally stable, but then she proceeded to say that she was the owner of Marburg. And I said, well, not today. And so I scooted her on her way, but she looked identical with the exception of she was missing an eye in the photo that was released in Goleta. The woman had an eye, so maybe she has a twin. But in any case, that was the only thing that really occurred over the last 2 weeks. And then just wanted to highlight for my supervisor that manages the C&D yard over by Quinientos. So the underbridge, there's a lot of cars and activity there. And so he just wanted to make sure that we're being mindful of those folks because of how much traffic goes into that C&D yard. And we want to just make sure that, they're not blocking and so forth. So that's all I got. But first of all, thank you, thank you, thank you. The last 2 weeks, it's been really good and nice and looks like Santa Barbara on Cacique.
Thank you, Susie. That's really nice to hear.
Um,
Oh yeah, go ahead,
I was
Liz.
just going to respond to Susie about that person that you brought up at City College. We did discuss that person after the meeting, and we do know who you're talking about. So we are taking appropriate action.
Thank you. Yeah, I noticed he's not around, so hopefully he's getting support.
There was actually we had spoken with, or Dwight and I had spoken with him, and there was talk that he did have family in the Lompoc area. I can't confirm that he actually went there, but he had talked about it a lot, and that might be some, kind of temporary housing for him. So it'd be a great outcome if he did actually make his way up there and, is living there with family. But that was just kind of something word of mouth that we heard. So.
Thank you. That
Um,
makes my heart happy hearing stories.
and the vehicles on Quinientos is a site that we are aware of and have notified New Beginnings of to try to triage. I'm looking at the map just to see if there's been any connections. I know they've been really focusing on the surf encampment sites, but they are aware of that facility, not facility, that impact in that area. But I'll remind them and follow up.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just more of a safety concern. Thank you.
And then we'll discuss the individual that you mentioned, who was missing an eye. They were missing an eye at the Goleta ribbon cutting, is that correct? But not the person you saw on Cacique.
No, she had an eye missing at Cacique. So she
Okay.
had a piano. Um, and she had a check in her hand and it looked kind of worn. But she was disheveled, meaning she said they kept stealing her checks. So I don't know if there's any truth to it
Okay.
or if there's that mental instability or I mean, obviously she thought she was a Marburg owner. So there's obviously some kind of mental instability, but hopefully I had not seen her before.
Sure.
I don't know if she was scoping things out because she got really pretty deep into the parking lot where the shop is here at Cacique. And so I didn't know because she was shouting out, hello, hello. So I never know if they're trying to scope out to see if anybody's around at 6-ish, right? Um, but in any case, hopefully she got support.
Okay. We'll discuss that after all the community members have left today. Thank you. And thanks for the good report about Cacique being clean. We appreciate that. Any other questions or concerns from community members?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all of you. I mean, good morning, all of you. This is Jesse. I know Al Ortiz isn't on this call, and I don't think
He
he
is.
answers. Oh, he is? Oh,
He,
there he is.
yeah, he's here.
Al, is your team available on the weekends?
Jesse, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, our team is available on the weekend.
Okay. I think I tried to contact you over the weekend.
Yeah, it was my birthday weekend that passed, so I'm sorry. I usually get back to you a little bit sooner,
No
but
worries, no
you
worries.
know, yeah, I'm good at that. But I was away for my birthday, so that's why I wasn't able to get back to you this past weekend. But
No, that's
usually,
understandable. That's understandable. I was just wondering, did you ever reach out to that mother and daughter that are in that black car that, oh, you did?
yeah,
Okay.
that actually the same day you originally got to me,
Okay.
we connected with them, and then we connected them with the proper resource. Now I'll follow up with them. I'll have the team follow up with them and see if they actually went over there. I know they made it to the Faro Center one time, and then the proper services that they could really utilize is where they're connected to. So
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
we will have additional follow up just to make sure that does happen. Okay.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, because I saw him again over the weekend and I was just kind of concerned. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, no, we are connected. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for that. That was a really
Yeah.
good lead.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Al, you got a birthday shout out in the chat as well.
Oh, thank you all. The big 4-0. I feel like I'm 25 though.
Oh, so it's just a
Oh,
baby.
Love it.
Anything else from the community? All right. So let's move on to updates from all the different teams. Al, can we start with you?
Yes, I'm gonna actually have Olivia provide that.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Good morning. Yeah, so as others have said, Cacique has been pretty clear. We actually walked in that area yesterday and there weren't too many people. We did encounter maybe 7 or 8 people, kind of near that East Beach Milpas area yesterday. We have been continuing to give out information and the cards for the Faro Center, and quite a few people were interested in that. And we had a good day yesterday getting connected with people, but we have also noticed that that area is far less congested. So there's been a lot less activity this week that we've noticed.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate that. Let's go to our team from Path.
Sorry, I was trying to get on mute.
No, you're good.
Okay. Hello, it's Vision Virtual from Path. We are very excited. We have, we have one person who is kind of training in outreach right now, who currently is part-time, but she's been going out with some CityNet outreach teams to kind of learn the ropes of outreach. Thank you, CityNet, for letting her join you guys. And then, so she's supporting in our outreach right now, while we wait for our permanent outreach worker to get through the onboarding paperwork, which has started. So hopefully, it'll just be like the next couple of weeks until we have our new permanent full-time outreach worker back up. We also just made an offer to a new AmeriCorps member for this coming year who will also be supporting outreach as well. So we're really excited to be back to ramping up our outreach out here. That's our biggest report. JD is on too, so he can talk more about upcoming community cleanups.
I just want to say that the medical person accepted, so she will start in September 13. So yeah, that's great. And then to note Cacique. So I am concerned if Cacique Street is so clear where people are going to, but that is for another day to have that conversation. Where are they if they're not here? Yeah, I just wanted to note that.
Herschel, we can talk about that on the second half of the call too, but we are seeing more activity down at the waterfront. So that's why Olivia mentioned that they're doing more outreach in that area as well.
That's great. Yeah, I appreciate just everybody's support too. Excited to have that the faster risk or cleaning up time on the encampments too. I think that would be really helpful for that. So yeah, just wanting to give a shout out to everybody and the teamwork and all the hard work that goes into supporting the folks who are out here on CK. JD.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. I don't have yet a date for the community cleanup, but as soon as I do, I could email Landon the flyer so he can get that out to the community. So thank you all.
That's great. Thank you. And very, very exciting to hear about the new staff coming on. Let's go to our city code enforcement team.
Thanks, Landon. Yeah, from our end, Cacique has been a big priority, as already kind of been discussed. We've really been staying on it, just like Barbara said, kind of with a stepped up enforcement, and now we have the 24-hour noticing, which is which is a good change for us, to kind of be more on top of things and make things happen faster. The last step there is we are going to be posting some signs in the area, which are going to be really, a nice big red notice about storage of personal property. That's going to be a great step, I think, to really dissuade people from reestablishing and that becoming as much of an issue as it has been. On top of that, I know, Susie, you had requested some power washing for the street there. We're working with our contractor to line that up probably next week so that we can kind of give it that, real clean slate look and get a fresh start there. So I think moving forward, it's something where we'll be off on a good foot. But otherwise, in terms of the east side, it's again just sort of been our usual spots around the creeks, and some more increased activity on the waterfront. Also down towards below the Clark Estate, we are putting some attention into that East Beach zone there, and some people that have kind of started to. I'm actually not sure if they're currently abandoned, but we're in process of addressing some of those encampments down there. So. We have seen kind of that uptick where it did seem like we kind of cleared Cacique and we sort of pushed some people in some different directions. But staying on top of those as well so that we can, just try to avoid creating new hotspots at the same time.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do about that trash can that keeps getting full on the bridge on Cacique?
Yeah, the footbridge right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my partner and I went down there this morning to check those out. They are serviced Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by Marburg. Um, our The only other step that we can go beyond that would be an every day of Monday through Friday. Um, it's something we've considered. Our concern, I know it was talked about potentially removing those trash cans, but it does seem to be that we might just then have an illegal dumping problem on our hands from neighborhood impacts.
Yes.
So the next kind of step that we've actually been doing from the Sustainability and Resilience Department is we are kind of doing some checks through our system to see about trash service in the local area, between some of the mobile home parks that are nearby, and just some of the residents that have been problems in the past. We're kind of doing a deeper dive on that to see if we can, find some pattern there or someone who might be the kind of the source of a lot of that trash. Fortunately, it was looking good this morning when I went over there. We got out the litter sticks and picked up some spot trash and shoot away a crow who seemed to be making quite a mess himself. But yeah, it's definitely been a routine check for us, and we're just trying to make sure we get as much information as we can before we make a decision about our actual removal of one of the cans or something like that. So, but definitely doing our best to stay on top of it and minimize the impacts to the creek and just that general area.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Jesse. And I think Natasha is just seconding the need for the power washing. So thank you for your work on that. Sergeant Beltran.
Yeah, thank you. Pretty much just seconding a lot of what Andrew said, as always. I mean, we're seeing kind of like the same stuff. Obviously, Cacique has been looking pretty good. We haven't actually seen it ourselves, but more so heard about the increased activity on like East Beach area. And the only reason we haven't really seen it is because this last week we've been pretty tied up with some other details and everything else. But next week, I think we should be back on track to our normal routine of things. But other news is the co-response team that I also supervise, in addition to Kat, they're on pace to get a second clinician now. We've been waiting for that for a long time, but I just got word of that yesterday, so they should be getting a second clinician probably in the next couple of weeks. Behavioral wellness is just putting her through some in processing and other things. So that's positive news. And then I also asked, there's times where officers at the department need to make up shifts or make up hours. And that happens like every 6 weeks or so. So I asked whenever there's that they can help our team out. So that way we have an increased presence in certain areas of the city. They actually did that this last Wednesday. So I think they focused a good amount on Cacique. So hopefully that's, I know it's been clean, but I think they still showed a pretty decent presence there. And yeah, hopefully we can continue on with that. But otherwise, I don't think I have much else to add.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I wanted to just add to code enforcement, police department, CityNet, and a couple of other outreach teams have all been handing out the info cards about the Faro Center as well in downtown. And I think from our end, it seems like that's been helping. The numbers have grown quite a bit. Now we're averaging about 32 people this week every day. So I can't say for certain that these are the individuals that have been hanging out, in the Cacique area. But I do know in general, it's just helping to ease the burden on the system. So thanks to everybody for helping get the word out about that.
Wanted to
And
just
thank you.
add
Go ahead.
about the East Beach and the areas that we've seen increased activity. That is also because it borders the county, is also at the attention of the county, and county sheriffs are also adding increased attention to that area and adding increased outreach workers through the county side to get coordinated response to that area that is between both our jurisdictions.
Thanks, Liz. And then I see there was a clarification from Natasha about the bridge she was talking about. Thanks for that, Natasha. All right. Any other announcements or anything to share while we're all together?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, I'd like to share. Very soon, I'm very thankful to announce that we have our new women's fund van vehicle. It has the showers and safe space for case management to be done. We got it out the first time last week, so I wanted to kind of announce it to the Eastside. We're looking in September to hopefully start putting together like a little schedule where this vehicle will be going anywhere from Carpinteria and Santa Barbara to Goleta. So we'll have different days in different areas. It is, women's fund, so we do want to put a more focus on, assisting our vulnerable female individuals that could use case management. All right. And meet them where they're at and create that safe space. This will help many of our anyone who's unhoused, because one of the big hurdles that we run into in outreach is sometimes whether they're trying to go to the Faro Center or trying to have them meet us at a safe space where it's not in a public space where we're trying to ask them personal information, where they wouldn't leave because they didn't want to leave their belongings because they were so worried about them getting stolen, right? Stuff like that. So to me, this will be a huge game changer to be able to have the space where they not only has enough room to bring their belongings if necessary, or put them right there by our vehicle while we're doing the case management. So we'll give you an update on that fairly soon. Look for that probably in the next meeting or two with the date and times where you will see our van in your local area.
That's great. Thank you, Al. I also just wanted to expand too on my announcement earlier about the Faro Center. So we have just last week we hit our highest number of individuals ever. We had 38 individuals in one day, and we will be actually starting a warm meal program twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays after Labor Day. So hopefully that will keep growing the numbers of people that we have coming to the Faro Center. And just something, again, to keep spreading the word about that there will be increasing more and more resources available. We're trying to get more workforce development offerings. There's an individual who's now offering to potentially start doing haircuts once a month. So hoping that can just keep growing into something that people really want to go to.
Let me know about the haircut stuff. I will definitely be there to volunteer some of my time.
Are you gonna give haircuts?
I do.
You're also a barber?
Yes,
Wow.
for many moons now. So
Wow.
I've been doing that. And yeah, I think I did last time I did it for we had an employment job fair over there at the Franklin Center.
Yep.
Last time I was cutting hair for people. So please let me know about that if I can make some time. That's that fills me. and do it. I enjoy it. So no charges, nothing like that. I just love to put a smile on someone's face, and we all know how we get when we get that fresh haircut. It makes us feel good. So let me know it landed.
That's great. Thank you, Al. Liz Stotts, were you going to share something?
Yeah, I just wanted to have people save the date, September 16th at 5:30. That's when we plan to have the community meeting on encampments on East De La Guerra for vehicular encampments to just update people on what efforts are undergoing to address those issues. So we'll send invitations soon. It's going to be at the Boys and Girls Club. Mark Alvarado's offered to host, so I need to meet with him and set up the logistics. But New Beginnings will be there. A whole slew of city staff will be there to kind of talk about East De La Guerra and the vehicular encampments in that area. On that note, New Beginnings has been making enrollments, going out there and offering services. So they're working real hard to get people enrolled into that program. So it's all good stuff happening.
Thank you, Liz. All right. I think that's a good note to end on. So we'll wrap it up for our community members, service providers. If you can stick around, that'd be great. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Thank you all.
Bye, everybody.